Hi, my name is Laura Bertorelli, and my story is called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. I'm going to start with the introduction, and then my friends are going to continue with the rest of the story. This is an inspiring story in which our main character fights against all difficulties in the way to accomplish his dreams. From his early years, he struggled with tragic situations that affected him during his life. Those situations made him grateful for the few things he had. He accepted with a lot of modesty all the opportunities that he had later in life. He learned about all of these, and this experience made him stronger in the future. Now I'm going to start with the actual story, and it says, Marta was born in a rich family. She used to travel a lot and had people working for her all the time. In other words, have a good life. One day she went to Copacabana's beach. Without knowing it, she was going to meet the love of her life, Ricardo. He was from a poor family that lived in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro. They fell madly in love, and a year later, Marta got pregnant. Because she was only 18 years old, her mother kicked her out of her house and left her in the streets. So, she moved to Ricardo's house in the favelas because she didn't have any other choice. The favelas of Rio de Janeiro is a shanty town where approximately 100 people die in a regular day. Marta moved here with no idea that it was so poor and dangerous. She had to get used to her new life. She didn't have any luxury and had to work in order to meet ends. John was born 9 months later, on the April 24th. Ricardo's dream was to become a professional soccer player, but he couldn't make it happen. His passion for soccer was passed on to his son, who loved it from the beginning. When he started elementary school, John had his first practice, and he loved it so much that he never missed one. Now, 15 years later, John was sitting on his bed thinking about how his life had changed from one minute to the other. He lived in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, and, as we all know, that wasn't a good place for a 15-year-old boy to live in. His father had just died in the middle of a shootout between traffickers and the police. He was recently living with his uncle, Pancho, an unemployed alcoholic. John took this drastic change in his life with a lot of courage, as his fathers had taught him. His goal of becoming a professional soccer player to leave the favelas was increased after his parents had died. He went to practice every day in the school team, but to be able to succeed, he had to be the best at it, so he could get a chance to play professional football. Thanks to Pancho's drinking problem, John was being battled all the time. He didn't say anything to anyone, not even Marcus, his best friend. He thought that he could get his uncle to go to rehab on his own. But as time passed, things got worse in his house. One day, Marcus noticed a bruise in John's arms, and he decided it was time to talk to someone. Marcus didn't know what to do for his friend, so he decided to invite him to move in with his family for a couple of days until they figure out what to do. Marcus talked to his mother about John's problems, and she immediately decided to help. They got John to move in with them, but they couldn't get Pancho to go to rehab. After John moved in with his friend, he was a lot happier and even more relaxed. Marcus' mother took care of John as if he was another son. She was a very loving and caring person.